Hello my dear students. In the previous classes we have discussed that how because of the initiative taken by the Bolsheviks under the leadership of the Lenin, bank and industries were nationalized. We have also seen that how Lenin decided to the redistribution of the land. So heading is Civil War. First of all, it is very necessary to understand what is civil war. When any war led out within the country, it is regarded as the civil war. What were the causes for the civil war? As we have discussed in the previous class, that Lenin ordered the redistribution of the land which was taken by the nobility and the churches. So when lands were started to being distributed, then in the army, in the Soviet army, the soldiers wished to go home. Why they wished to go home? Because they were getting the piece of the land. And as a result of that, the army of the Soviet started to disintegrate. Then the actions which were taken by the Bolsheviks, there were many who were opposed of it. Mostly the non-Bolsheviks who were opposed of it. Non-Bolsheviks. Liberals and pro-Tsarists. These were the three who were against of the Bolshevik actions. So the the leader of these three went to the southern part of the Russia to organize the troops who can fight with the Bolsheviks. Later on, they also got the support from the Britain, America, as well as the Japan. Why these countries supported these people? Because these countries were worried. Because socialism theory was gaining control, so they were worried that if socialism will be effected or implemented in the Russia, may be possible. In our country also, people will make the uprising, so they supported. So, during the year of the 1918 to 1919, most part of Russia was under the control of these groups. Then there was a war which was led against the red by the white and green. See here. Red were the Bolsheviks. Green. These were the socialist revolutionary. And there were the white. White were the pro-Tsarist, means the supporters of the Tsar. So, during the year of the 18 to 19, there was war among them, and in that war, first these two were the victorious one. So maximum part of the Russia came under the control of them. So when war occurred between these two, I don't say war, a civil war occurred among the red and green and whites, then looting, banditry, crimes were very common in the Russia. By the January 1920, Bolsheviks were able to get the control over Russia. And how Bolsheviks were able to get control over Russia? By the support of the non-Russian people as well as by the support of the Muslim Jaddidists. Yes, Jaddidists were the spiritual leader or the teacher of the Muslims. But everywhere we can't say that there was a proper control of the Bolsheviks, mostly in the area of the colonies. Yes, those areas which were the colony of the Russia, in that areas colonists made themselves as the Bolsheviks and they took the harsh steps to get control over the people who were living over there. So, to remedy this means to remedy this or to give a little bit comfort to the people. In most non-Russian states, political autonomy was given to the colonists. But this political autonomy also didn't work because in spite of given some political autonomy or political freeness, there was some steps which were put on them by the Bolsheviks. One of the most important was the ban on the nomadism. Yes, nomadism means nomadic people were there who were moving from one place to the other place with the herd of their cattle. So this practice was being stopped by the Bolsheviks. So because of this all situation, many people in the Russia were confused that what Bolsheviks want to do. Later on, next, making a socialist society. During the time of the Civil War, industries and banks were nationalized. Later on, the land which was given to the peasants that was collectivized or that came under one umbrella and cultivation was done on them. Why cultivation was done on the collective land? Because Bolsheviks want to show the people that what collective work can do. So, for the proper growth of the country, 5 years plans. 5 years plans were implemented. 2 5-year plans were implemented. One was 1927 to 1932. Other was 1933 to 1938. In the first economic plan, first 5-year plan, maximum focus was given on the industrial growth. And because of the growth in the industries, there was 100% production in the 3 commodities: steel, oil and coal. These productions became 100%. But as here we are seeing, there were some advantages of this 5 years plans, but there were some disadvantages also, because maximum focus was given on the industrial growth, and because of the industrial growth there was the poor working conditions. Yes, one example I am giving. There was a steel plant which was constructed, and its construction took 4 years. There were several stoppages of the work. the workers who were working over there, they were living a very hard life. One worker recalls the memories that to go for the toilet, he has to climb down 40 staircases in the minus temperature, and he has to hurry up to the street for the sake of the toilets. So there were some disadvantages, but besides that, government also took some initiative so that condition of the workers, including their children, can be improved. Creachage. Yes, creachage. We can say it was a preschool. Creachage was set up along the working areas. Why creachage was set up or preschools were set up? So that the women workers who were working over there, their children can get education in that. Yet the initiative which was taken by the government, that was good, but it gave help, or it was for the less people only. Why? Less people got the opportunity or the advantage from it, because the resources of the government were very limited. So this was how Bolsheviks made a socialist society. Now next, Stalinism. Stalinism and collectivization. What was in that? During the year of 1927 to 1928, Russian areas were facing the problem of the grain supply. Means there was not enough grain for the use purpose or for diet. Then there was Stalin. Who was this Stalin? Stalin got the control over the Bolsheviks after the death of the Vladimir Lenin, or we can say after the Vladimir Lenin, Stalin became the leader of the Bolsheviks. So Stalin said that why there is the acute shortage of the grain? Because there were the kulaks. Now who were the kulaks? Kulaks were the big farmers of Russia. So why there was the acute shortage? Because these kulaks were making the storage of the grain. And why kulaks were making the storage of the grain? Because government fixed the prices of the grains. Now peasants have to sell their grains at the fixed prices which were announced by the government. So kulaks hold the grain supply for the sake of the better profit. So Stalin came to know that this was the reason for the acute shortage of the grain. So in the year of the 1928, officials, including the other members of the Bolsheviks, started to move into the village areas, and they raid on the houses of the kulaks. After the raid, the grain supply which was there, that was confiscated or made free, and so that grain can come into the market. Later on, this collectivization program was given by the Stalin in the year of the 1929. In the year of 1929, he gave this program, collectivization. What was in that? According to the collectivization program of the Stalin, he said that farms of all the peasants will be collectively cultivated. Why he said so? Because after the redistribution of the land, farmer got the land according to the need of their family. So they were having the small land holdings, and on the small land holdings it was not possible to practice the modern agriculture. So he said that if all the lands will join together, it will be easier for the government to modernize the farm, then modern farming practice can be done. And obviously when modern farming practice will be done, there will be the more production. So he gave this idea. And in the collective farms, all the peasants have to work, and whatever the profit, that should be given to the farmers according to the work which were done by them. But there were many farmers who were against this collectivization program of against the collectivization program of the Stalin. So between the year of 1929 to 30, maximum farmers destroyed their cattle stocks or destroyed their cattle, and as a result the total number of the cattle fell by 1/3 into the Russia. Yet this collectivization program didn't help a lot or didn't help to increase the production, because during this time only, in the year of 30 to 33, there was a famine in the Russia, and in this famine approximately 4 million people died. Yes, 4 million died. So now the people who were in the party of the Stalin only, they also started to raise question on the collectivization program as well as on the industrialization. So Stalin took very harsh step against these people. Those people who were against him, he said that they are not against me, they all are against the theory of the socialism. And as a result of it, during the year of the 1939, yes, 1939, over 2 million people, either they were either they were exiled or they were moved away from their country. Besides that, there were maximum people who were in the prison or they were in the labor camp. Among these 2 million who were in the prison and the labor camp, there were many who were innocent, but there was none who can raise voice against these people. And among them, many people were the talented professionals. Now, the global influence of the USSR. Now, last topic, global influence of socialism and USSR. What is this? United Soviet Socialist Republic. This is the full form of the USSR. In reality, what is USSR? USSR was the state of the Russia which was created by Bolsheviks in December 1920. Yes. So, what was the global influence of the socialism? By the uprising or by the process of the socialism, many countries of the Europe inspired a lot. So, on the behalf of the Russian Communist Party, many communist parties started to being found in the different countries of the Europe. Best example is the Labour Party of Britain. Labour Party of Britain. This was also a communist party. Yes. So, first people were happy by the socialist uprising. In the year of the 1920, there was a meeting in the Russia in which delegates of the maximum countries came to study the theory of the socialism. Many students of the European countries took admission in the communist universities of the Russia so that they can elaborate the theory of the socialism. So we can say that during the Second World War, this socialism theory which was practiced within the Russia only, it got a global face or it spread globally. But till the 1950, till the year after 1950, a lot of questions started to being raised on the type of the government which was operated within the Russia. People of the other countries said that it is okay that from a poor country Russia has become a prosperous country, its industries developed, its grain production increased, its poor people are getting the proper diet. But then also, this country has not given the essential rights which should be provided to its citizens. And till the 1950s, this discussion was very common that everything was not well in the Russia because they stood for the socialism, but later on they started to snatch the rights of the citizens. So, my dear students, this was all about the chapter 2 history. Now, from the next class, we shall write down the question answers of this chapter. Till that, bye bye, my dear friends.